Alright, so our next video is about payoff matrix in a zero sum two-person game. So what is the meaning of payoff matrix? A payoff matrix is basically a table that shows us a result for every possible combination of strategies that will be played by two competing players. Okay, so it basically helps us visualize all the outcomes of a game in a very structured way. ठीक है. अब जीरो सम में क्या होता है? जीरो सम गेम मीन्स वन प्लेयर्स गेन इज इक्वल्स टू द अदर प्लेयर्स लॉस. तो टोटल चेंज क्या होगा? हमेशा जीरो. So player A, let's say he wins 5 points, and player B will lose five, right? So when you add both of these, plus five plus minus five, then you get zero. तो इसको बोलते हैं zero sum game. Now we know what a payoff matrix is, and now we know what a zero sum game is. Now, two-person game structure में क्या होता है? राइट, टू पर्सन गेम स्ट्रक्चर में क्या होता है? उसमें दो प्लेयर्स होते हैं, प्लेयर ए हु इज अ रो प्लेयर एंड प्लेयर बी हु इज अ कॉलम प्लेयर. नाउ ईच प्लेयर विल हैव अ डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजी टू चूज फ्रॉम. So and the outcome depends on both of these choices together. Okay, now how does a payoff matrix help us here? It helps us in comparing different outcomes. It helps us in choosing the best strategy and predicting the opponent's move. So to understand the competitive situation clearly. So what is it? It is basically a decision making tool that is used in game theory. Now, how is the matrix represented? So the matrix, the representation of our payoff matrix is basically where the rows are player A strategy and the columns are player B strategies, and the numbers in each cell are player in each cell will be a payoff to player A, and a payoff to player B will be the negative of those values जो मतलब जो cell में numbers है. ठीक है, वो प्लेयर ए के पे ऑफ रहेंगे. एंड लाइक हाउ वी से कि द वंस गेन इज अनदर्स लॉस, राइट? तो प्लेयर ए का गेन्स लिखा रहेगा वहाँ पर, एंड वो नेगेटिव, उसकी वही वैल्यूज को हम नेगेटिव करके अज्यूम करेंगे कि वो प्लेयर बी की वैल्यू है. ठीक है. And then we have interpretation of the payoffs. तो अगर पॉजिटिव है तो A gains and B loses. अगर नेगेटिव है तो A loses and B का गेन है वो. ठीक है. अगर जीरो है तो दोनों का भी लॉस नहीं है, दोनों का भी लॉस नहीं है, दोनों का भी गेन नहीं है. ओके. Then we have the objective of each player. So player A tries to maximize their payoff, while player B will try to minimize player A ka payoff, right? So it is not here to win on its own. It's over here to make A lose. Okay, so this mutual opposition forms the strategic tension central to zero-sum games. So basically, there's it is basically strategic because no one's advances is the other because one's advances are the other person's loss. Now payoff matrix यहाँ पे clearly नहीं लिखा हुआ है, but let me explain it to you. It's over here. It's like it's basically that I'll actually include the payoff matrix at the end. So we'll understand it tabhi. We'll understand the example tabhi. Now finding the optimal strategy. So basically using the payoff, we can find an optimal strategy using the maximum rule, where for player A, we maximize for player A we use the maximum rule, for player B we use the minimax rule, and these rules help us identify the optimal strategies and equilibrium outcomes. And the significance of the payoff matrix is, what is its significance? Is that it simplifies complex competitive interactions into a visual table. एक visual table में डाल देता है हमारे values को, है ना? It predicts rational decision making, right? It helps predict rational decision making. It does not predict itself. It helps us predict a rational decision. Come to a rational decision, okay? And then it shows conflict and dependence between the players, right? And it forms the basis for solving zero-sum games mathematically. Next, we'll come to an example. Alright, so this is the proper example for the payoff matrix. So over here you can see the values. तो यहाँ पे जो भी values represented है, they'll all be for player A. इसके opposite sign के values we will assume, and they will be for player B. Plus 3 is player A, minus 3 will be player B, minus 2 is player A, plus 2 will be player B. Okay. So what does this mean? If A1 if A chooses A1, okay, A chooses A1 and B chooses B1, then A gets plus 3 over here and B gets minus 3, right? and if A chooses A2 and B chooses B2, then क्या मिलेगा उसको +4. That means B gets -4. So each cell shows player A's payoff, and those opposite values payoff will be those of player B. ठीक है? So this will form an example. All right. So that was the video. Please do like whatever that is that you do. Thank you.